Hello, Steve Mills here, and it's great to be back on my podcast, sharing some more ideas with you. And today I wanted to talk to you about influence, the psychology of persuasion, which is actually the title of a book by a gentleman called Robert Cialdini. It's actually a professor, I think at Harvard, but I'm not quite sure about that, but certainly a very, very intelligent and clever man who wrote a brilliant book called, as I said, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. Now, in the book, Cialdini speaks really about what he calls the 6 keys of influence. And in sales and in marketing and in business, we need to be good at influencing people. That might be influencing our staff to do things and to get things done, to improve and so on and so forth. It might be, in life, our family, we need to influence our children to, clean the bedroom or, do their homework or try hard at school or whatever. So there are many reasons and needs to be good at influencing people, and obviously within that there's the negative connotation of it, and I'm certainly not advocating that. I'm advocating being good at influencing people for the right reasons and not for the wrong reasons. So that said, let me talk you through what Cialdini says are the 6 key tools of influence, the weapons of influence, if you will. And it kicks off with number 1, reciprocation. So Cialdini states that, and I think it's one of the fantastic things about human beings, and that is that if you do something for somebody else, they're much more likely to do something for you. But actually, do you know what? It's even true if you don't do something. I really do believe that I could walk out into the street right now, go up to 100 people, and 99 of them, if I said, I wonder whether you could help me, 99 of them would say something like, yeah, sure, if I can, or at least, what is it you need? Very few people will be totally blocked off for that. But certainly if I've already helped them, then, that becomes increased. So as far as reciprocation is concerned, from a sales and marketing point of view, always the question is, what could you do to help somebody up front? And that could be to demonstrate your expertise for free. It could be to give them some time for free. It could be, to send them a book. We've at times in the past, when an inquiry comes in, we've sent them a copy of a book called The E-Myth, particularly for businesses who are starting out, which is all about the entrepreneurial myth, why small businesses fail and what to do about it. So great book in itself, and strongly recommend you go and buy that. So my question to you is, how could you use reciprocation, in other words, the art, the science of giving something to your potential customers in exchange for something back? So at the very element of it would be giving a referral in order to induce them to give a referral back to you. So there's one example. Giving a book or a gift in exchange for perhaps improving the chances of them buying from you, and so on and so forth. So number 2, Cialdini states, is what he calls commitment and consistency. People have a very deep, ingrained belief that what they see as consistent they like, even if it ain't that great. You take something like McDonald's. I'm sure even the most positive, McDonald's senior manager, managing director would say that they don't make the best burgers on the planet. What they do fantastically well is make a product that is absolutely consistent. No matter where you go, anywhere in the world, you know exactly what you're going to get, you know how it's going to be served, you know pretty much everything about that meal. And because it's consistent, because the standards are always set, even if they're not the best, we buy it. So how's that affect your marketing though? Well, one of the problems I see a lot with small businesses is inconsistency in their marketing. What I mean by that is things like, a company might say, we're the leading XYZ company in, in Andover. Yeah, we're the top company in our area. And then when you look at their website, it doesn't really show that. It looks like there's somebody working out of a back bedroom who's, couldn't really be bothered spending any money on a website. And then you pick up their business card, and that too is a tatty, cheap, horrible, inexpensively produced document. And so on and so forth. So inconsistency comes when what you say is not what you see. And sometimes that can be really the other way around. You may have the state-of-the-art, wonderful website, but the quality of customer service is such that you can't even get somebody to answer the phone. And you often see that with big companies. These large corporates will tell you, customer care is our mission. And then, you spend 25 minutes on the phone eventually to speak to somebody who you can't quite understand, and they don't understand you, and you go away totally and utterly frustrated, having been transferred from 3, 4, 5, 6 people who all have not been able to help you. So you get the idea. So commitment and consistency is really, really important. The next one, number 3, is what Cialdini calls social proof. And again, this I've always believed is really possible. When I say always, I remember my mom telling me many, many years ago that, it's more important what other people say about you than it is what you say about yourself. And that's as true today as it was when I was a child. And if that's the case, then how are you going to get social proof? Well, these days there's never been more opportunities to do that with things like social media, LinkedIn, YouTube, and so on and so forth. So, if you look at my website, you'll see it's full of testimonials, hundreds of testimonials from satisfied customers over many, many years. If you go to my YouTube platform, you'll see there's many video testimonials on there. If you connect to me on social media, again, you'll see comments all over social media about the quality of service that we provide. And if we do that, there's no reason whatsoever why you couldn't do that too. It's just about taking action. So that might be something for you to think about. Number 4 is liking. Liking. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. So your mission in your marketing is to get people to know, like, and trust you, know, like, and trust your products or services, and to know, like, and trust your company. And when you get a 10 out of 10 in all those 3 key areas, where's somebody going to buy? Are they going to go to Google, or are they going to go to somebody who they know, like, and trust, buying a product they know, like, and trust from a company that they know, like, and trust? Even if it's a little bit more expensive. And I don't know about you, but I know where I'd go. And I think for many of your customers, if you can get them to know, like, and trust you, your company, and your products and services, you're going to do better. Number 5 is called authority. People respect authority. We're taught to respect authority. We're taught to respect people or businesses who are in a position of authority. So how do you do that? Well, in a business context, it could be anything from maybe writing a report on something. So if I was a landscape gardener, I could write a report on landscape gardening and the type of flowers that go in acidic soil or something like that. I just demonstrate my expertise. Or perhaps I write a book on it. nothing better than writing a book on what you do, because you're instantly positioned as the expert, because you're an author, because you've written a book on it. So that's a great way of positioning you and or your business as the authority in your niche. Another way is to do what I'm doing now, and that is, having a podcast or having a blog, or, standing up in front of a group of people and talking to them about the area that you're an expert in. And that, again, is a fantastic way of doing it. Another way could be to have qualifications, to be if I was a PhD, that sets me apart from other people. I'm not sure these days having a degree does, because nearly everybody's got a degree, certainly young people anyway, but certainly having a PhD would set me apart from anybody else. Being called Dr. Mills or Cialdini is actually a professor, so Professor Robert Cialdini makes me think, he must be intelligent, he must know what he's talking about. It's not necessarily so, but I'm sure it is in Robert Cialdini's case. So, authority, there are many ways of gaining that, but there's just a few of them. And lastly, and I'm never quite sure about this one from a marketing perspective, although I will tell you, it's used a lot, and because it probably works, but that is the use of scarcity. So this is the old, last biscuit in the tin. And I don't know about you in your house, when we get down to the last few biscuits, all of a sudden these biscuits become even more valuable. When we've got loads of them, we're not that bothered. So from a marketing perspective, again, that could be, I'm running a seminar and I say, look, I've only got 3 places on the seminar left. Or, we've only got, 25 of these products left, and they're, being sold really, really quickly. We had 500 of them. We're down to our last 25, and that sort of thing. Now, one thing I will say about this is you need to be honest, in my opinion. Because, if I said to you, look, I've only got 3 places left on the seminar, and then you turn up, and the room's half empty, then, what are you going to think of my seminar? Straight away, you're going to think, oh, well, he's not telling the truth. And, that's not good. And the truth of the matter is, I think with many seminars, if I said to you, there's only 20 places and 17 of them are gone. The truth is probably if I could sell 50 places, I'd just get a bigger room. That's the bottom line. So, I don't know. It's, just my opinion on this. Scarcity, just be very honest and sincere about it. And just make sure when you are using the idea that this is a limited time, perhaps it's a limited time offer. It's going to be £150 until the end of the month, and then it's going to go back to the normal price of £500. But again, you've got to be sincere. You don't want to. If I buy it at 250 and then I find next month it's still the same, or perhaps it's even gone down, I'm not going to be very happy. So we've got to be honest and sincere about that. So very briefly, the books, what is it? Let's have a look. I've got it in my hands right now. The book is, let's try and get to the end of it. The book is 291 pages, and I've just basically distilled the main bits out of it in the last, whatever it is, 15 minutes or so. So, you might want to go and buy the book. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon. I'm not on commission. I just think it's a great book. It's a book that I've read many, many times. If you looked at my copy, which I've got in my hand now, you'll see it's very tattered and bruised and coffee stained and covered in highlighter, where I've highlighted the main points and the things that I want to remember. And by the way, every one of my books is like that. Certainly all the ones that I've read. I do still have a few that I've not read that I've bought and I'm going to read at some point. But my point being, that's how to read a business book. to highlight it and to make sure that you remember the main point. So that's about it. Thank you ever so much. I hope it was of value. I feel sure it would be. You perhaps want to look at your things like your web pages or your email and work out how you could position yourself as an expert, being the authority. What could you do to become more likable? Perhaps your business. How could you get more social proof? How can you make sure that everything within your business is sending the same message? So if my business, I want to be modern and state of the art and with it, I don't want to my marketing to look traditional and old and boring. It's got to be dynamic. Whereas if I was a solicitor and perhaps I want to be a traditional solicitor, then my marketing materials need to reflect that too. Reciprocation. So how can you help other people before you ask for money from them? So by helping them, you help yourself. So that's about it. Thank you very much for listening. If you want to know more from me, again, go to my website, www.stevemills.co. Feel free to book a one-to-one meeting with me. Be very happy to talk to you about how you can grow your business. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please sign up and get the podcast whenever I do a new one, and share it with other people. I'd love it if you did that for me. That would be very, very kind of you. And I'm all about trying to help as many small businesses as I can. That's why I do the podcast. That's why I do what I do. So let's just, I suppose, spread the love. So thank you ever so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you again on my next podcast. Thank you.